guys, so today I'm filming the 5th video in my back to school series, and it is going to be my freshman advice video. First off, I already said this in my last video, but I'm pre-filming these all on the same day, and so I'm still sick, so if my voice sounds weird, I apologize, but I just wanted to get that out there. Anyways, so I wanted to film my freshman advice video because I have been getting requests about doing this for literally so long, and I'm excited about it because, you know, I'd like to say that I give pretty good advice, alright? I mean, I give some good advice, so I'm willing to give you upcoming freshmen who are watching this, or even if you're not an upcoming freshman and you're just watching it for fun, I'm willing to give you guys some advice because I am a junior now, and so I've been through 2 years already of high school, so I'm going to tell you guys what I have learned. Okay, so I think most of you haven't gone back to school yet, but I'm already in school, and I know some other places are, I don't know. Some of you might already be back in school, like I said, some of you may not. But as for first day wise, do not be scared for your first day of school. I promise it will go absolutely fine. I remember being terrified on my first day of high school, like just being so scared that everything was gonna go wrong and I wouldn't be able to find anything, and like upperclassmen were gonna bully me and I would just, I don't even know, but it was absolutely fine. Like, you'll find your way around fine. You can ask people where to go. Most people are going to be pretty helpful. I would recommend asking a teacher where to go, because if you're a freshman, like, looking around, and upperclassmen will try to, like, mess with you a little bit and tell you the wrong room to go to. I mean, if they're mean, I mean, I've never done it. Yes, I have. No, I'm kidding. I haven't. So definitely, if you're lost, find help, because you don't want to be, like, 20 minutes late to your class and everybody's just going to be like, what are you doing? But most teachers are going to be really, really lenient on your first day because they realize that you are a freshman and you've never been to this school before, so they don't expect you to, like, get to class on time. At my school, after the first week, they start, like, getting on your butt about the tardy policy, and so if you are late to class after the first week, like, just get it together. It's really not that hard to figure out. Like, you'll figure out your schedule after a while, so don't, like, be scared about that. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about staying organized, and I already made a video about this, but I'm going to link that below, and all I'm going to say about staying organized is that it is so important to stay organized, especially as a freshman, because those rules of organization, or what you're, like, starting yourself on, are going to be with you for your next 4 years of high school. So if your whole entire freshman year, you're just all over the place, your whole entire 4 years of high school, you're going to be all over the place. So just learn organization skills and tips and just put them into your everyday life. And so just stay organized, stay on task. You have to realize that you are in high school now, and it is kind of like all on you. It's not really the whole, like, teacher telling you what to do kind of stuff. Like, teachers are not going to baby you, so don't go into it with the mindset that you're going to be, like, completely taken care of, because you have to be responsible in high school, so just remember that. Just for organization tips, just go watch the other video. Like I said, I'll link it below. I, like, kind of showed how I stay organized for high school. I guess it really applies to any grade in general, but just, like, having certain binders for stuff, like keeping your notebooks organized, having a homework folder, keeping up with your agenda and actually checking your agenda, or like day planner, whatever you want to call it. So as for organization tips, that's how that one goes. Okay, next is probably like the most important part of this video, but I'm going to be talking about making new friends. So for my high school, multiple middle schools went into one big high school. I'm in public school. It's not like a private school type business at all. But most of the people that I was going into my freshman year with, I already knew from middle school, or I kind of knew from the other middle schools in my area. Through, like, cheerleading, both middle schools that were kind of like the main middle schools in our town would be on the same, like, junior cheerleading league together, so we all kind of knew each other. And then, like, going into school, I kind of, like, faintly knew the girls from the other school, or, like, the people, not even girls, like, basically just knew most people, like, through Facebook, whatever, like, people who just went to the other middle school, and then all of my friends at my middle school. So it wasn't like I was going into a high school where I knew absolutely no one, so I've never been in that situation. So if your school is like that, I apologize. I really don't know what I would do in that kind of a situation. But as for making friends, just go into it with an open mind, because you never know who you're gonna meet. Be friendly to everybody, because you never know who you're gonna get along with. Don't, like, seclude yourself to one friend group. Don't try to, like, cling on to the popular group of people if that's what you're trying to do. Don't, like, focus your whole entire year around trying to get into a certain friend group, because it's really just not gonna work out for you. Like, just you'll find people, like, you'll find friends. It's not like you're gonna be completely secluded off from everyone. As long as you're friendly and you, like, smile at people in the hallways and you kind of introduce yourself to people in classes. Like even on my first day, like I'm a junior and I'll look around and be like, hey, I'm Megan, what's your name? You're gonna be in classes with certain people for the rest of the year, so you might as well just introduce yourself and say hi. Basically just be friendly, find out who's like at your locker around you, say hey, what's up? And then also for clubs and stuff, definitely get involved in clubs, theater, like sports, whatever you want to do. Just get involved in your school. That's like so important for high school, is getting involved. If you're one of those kids who just goes to school and comes home, like what do you do? What do you put on a college application? Like you have to get involved with your school. You have to show that you have like a passion for where you're going. My freshman year, I started off doing cross country and then I ended up getting shin splints like literally 2 weeks into the season, so I just quit. But at least that was one thing, okay? And then I'm not saying that that's like my only sport. I also played lacrosse my freshman year, so I met a couple new friends through that, and most of my friends like through middle school were also in it, so it was kind of like all of us together and we like did that together. And it wasn't that I didn't like lacrosse, but I didn't continue it into my sophomore year, mainly because of dance, and I've always been dancing like my whole life, and I've always had that, well, it's not like school related, like I don't dance with my school. Unfortunately, my school does not have any kind of a dance program, so that's really obnoxious, but I dance outside of school, like at a studio in my area, and so I've always had dance. And when I was doing lacrosse, I would have to leave practice early on some days to get to dance on time, and I really just liked dance more, and I didn't want to have to give it up for lacrosse, and so I just figured I would quit. And so I didn't continue it on into my sophomore year, but in my sophomore year, instead of like giving up school sports or school activities completely, I decided to go into theater, and it was completely a spur of the moment thing, and it was like the best decision of my life. I'm still involved with my theater group today, and I absolutely love it. I would have never thought that I would be like a theater geek in middle school. I would have never thought that I would have gotten into it. But basically, if you want to do something in high school, go for it. Most people are just now starting off and figuring out like what they want to do, and some people have already done it through middle school. If you have a passion for something, go for it. Like I would have never thought that I would have had a passion for theater or liked it this much, and I got inducted into my school's thespian society, which is basically just like our troupe of thespians, which is theater people, theater geeks, whatever you want to call us. And so I got inducted into that, which like just gets you involved in like state level type activities. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about theater now. Just get involved, especially go to orientation, because on orientation, all of the clubs and all of the sports and all of anything is going to be there trying to get you into their club and whatnot and promote it. Like freshman year, I was in environmental club, Spanish club, like just getting involved in clubs. It's something to do after school if you don't have like something else. Yeah, just get involved, because it is going to get you so far with your high school career, and you'll find a lot of friends through that as well. And also kind of getting into more in-depth of the whole friends-wise topic. In high school, things are going to change and people are going to change, and you have to know that going into high school, and you have to just keep that in the back of your mind that if somebody's changing and it's not for the better, you can't keep them as a friend. And so I have probably, what I'm gonna say now is 2 incredibly close best friends that I call best friends. And I did not have those 2 friends back in middle school. Like I had a pretty close group of best friends back in middle school, and now this year I have 2 that I am 100% sure I can trust, and those 2 are not even part of that friend group. And I'm not like calling anybody out, but I'm just stating the facts. Like, you will not have the same friends freshman year or even in middle school as you are going to have in your senior year. I mean, if you do, like, that's fine, but I'm saying, like, your friends are going to change and people in general are going to change, and you kind of just have to keep an open mind with that, and you can't like try to fight for someone who isn't fighting back for you. And so this is kind of getting into more like the whole like drugs and alcohol type thing. In high school, people do that. You're not just going to be completely blind to that. Like, it's high school. People are going to go to parties. People are going to drink. People are going to do drugs. There are going to be parties, and there's going to be drinking at those parties, and there's going to be smoking and like drugs at those parties. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's completely fine. Like, you don't have to completely just be like, oh, okay, yep, give it to me, I'm in high school, I can do this now. Like, no. And so if your friends are getting into that and you don't want to get into that, then just, you don't have to hang out with them as a friend anymore, and you don't have to kind of be like, you know what, I don't want to be friends with you because you drink. But you can just kind of like be friendly towards them, but just kind of like wean yourself off from the whole friendship so that you're not as close with them as you used to be. And it's gonna be hard. Like, you'll completely realize, and people will come out to you, like people will like show their true colors to you, I guess. And like I said, it's gonna be hard, but it's high school, and high school is hard, and high school is high school. People make mistakes and people will screw up, and you just have to kind of like be there for them. I don't know. And so yeah, talking more about all of the like drugs and alcohol and whatnot, like if you are invited to a party and you know that that's going to be there and you don't want to like be around that, then just don't put yourself around that. Like, it's completely just putting yourself and surrounding yourself with the right types of people. You can get involved in different things like where you're 100% sure that there's going to be none of that. And so just be aware of your surroundings and like what's going on around you, and don't put yourself in really bad situations where you know that stuff like that is going to be going on, and you know that you're not going to be wanting to do it, and you won't know how to get out of that situation. And that's going to go on all throughout high school. Like, keep that in the back of your mind all throughout high school, like from freshman to senior year. Just don't put yourself into anything that you will not be able to get out of, and don't put yourself into bad situations. Okay, and the number one thing that I'm going to say is going to be important if you're not okay with everything like that, like drugs and alcohol use. You will probably lose a lot of friends over that. Well, I'm just saying this from like personal experience. Maybe it's not like this at your school, like maybe there's not as much like drinking and drug use and whatever at your school, but I mean, like, it's high school. The number one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you can't just completely write everybody off who's doing that. People will try it once or twice, and you can't just completely write them off as a person. Like, I know I kind of stated if they're getting into it like hardcore and you don't want to be friends with them anymore, then don't be friends with them anymore by all means. Just understand that people are going to want to try things. Like, you can't just write everybody off for wanting to try something, you know? And I'm not saying like it's okay to do at all, but I'm just saying that you have to be open-minded with it, and you can't just completely be like, okay, well, we're not being friends anymore because you had one single sip of beer. So just the number one thing that you have to keep in mind is that it's okay if you're not okay with it, but you have to be okay with other people being okay with it, if that makes sense. You have to understand that other people are going to be doing it, and you can't just like hate everybody for doing it. And so just remember that through high school. Just, if there's one thing that you take from this video, just take that. And so coming back off of that whole topic and getting back into friends-wise, find a group of people, or maybe even just like 2 people like me that you 100% are sure that you can trust, and keep them forever, and like try to do everything to keep them. And if you have friends who aren't in your classes, that is going to be really, really hard for you to maintain a friendship at all, because it's all about the people in your classes, because that's the people that you're seeing every single day. And if you have no classes with anybody, you have to put in that time to see them on the weekends, or else your friendship will be nothing because you're not seeing them anymore. And definitely throughout my freshman year, I realized that my best friends that I was going into having as best friends my freshman year were not my best friends at the end of freshman year, because they were in none of my classes. Like, I barely saw them. We both just didn't make the effort. So like, if you want to keep a friend and they're not in your classes, make the effort to see them. Like, you have to show them that you care. But also with that, don't put more into a friendship if you're not getting that back in return. And so if you're trying so hard to see this person and you're not realizing a like actual communication between you guys, then they're not really your friend. If they're not making time to see you or agreeing that you guys need to see each other more, then they're not really your friend. Then they don't really want to see you, because the people who do want to see you are going to find time for you, and they will find it somehow. They're not just going to be like, oh, I'm busy from now until the end of the year. Like, okay, no. So I'm not saying like examine every single one of your friendships to make sure that everything's going smoothly, but just like pay attention to detail and realize when people are becoming strangers, and if you would like to have them become a stranger, or you want that stranger back as your best friend. Okay, and now I'm just gonna stop talking about friends for a bit, because it's just getting too emotional over here. And so football games, go to football games, because at my school they are so freaking fun. Like, the whole entire school goes and like just shows school spirit, go to school events. We have dress up days, like we'll have certain like spirited days or like a theme for a day for really big games. Participate in things at your school like that. We have like homecoming parades and like homecoming floats and whatnot, and you can like be the one who participates in making the homecoming float. You might not be on it, maybe if you don't want to be on it, but you can make the homecoming float. Like you can find things to get involved in that are kind of like low key if you're not trying to be like running for homecoming queen, you know? And so really just get involved with your school, go to school activities. I feel like I've probably said get involved like 550 times throughout this video, but it's like one of those things, like if you take one thing from the video, it should be that. I figured that I would just make this video to kind of tell you guys about my like high school lessons, and so I hope that this kind of was not too all over the place and it kind of explained to you how to do it. I don't know, how to go about being in high school. But yeah, just be organized, make new friends, keep your old ones and fight for them if you want to. Realize that people are going to be drinking and doing drugs, and don't completely write off anybody who tries it once, but you don't have to, of course, get into that. Get involved in your school, join some clubs, make some new friends. I don't know, I think that's all of the tips that I mentioned in this video, and everything else throughout the video was like more in detail on that. But I hope you guys learned a few things from this video, and if you are a freshman, definitely don't be scared, and you will have an amazing high school years. It's really, really fun, and it's a lot better than middle school, trust me. I mean, it is school, but as for like activities wise in school, it's super fun. Try some new things, take some chances, and just have a great year. I sound like a school principal over here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.
Hoochie.